The news is on fire. The news is on fire. Peter Mandleson, Labour's so-called Prince of Darkness, has been forced to resign from his advisory role. The pressure on Keir Starmer is immense, with questions flying about what he knew and when. But as the cameras flash and the headlines scream, there's a strange, deafening silence from two very familiar figures. Where are Tony Blair and Alastair Campbell? Let's rewind a bit. Remember the glory days of New Labour? They were the inseparable trio, the three amigos who reshaped British politics. Mandleson, the master strategist; Campbell, the original spin doctor, a king of media manipulation; and at the center of it all, Tony Blair, the charismatic leader who took Britain to war. For a decade, you couldn't think of one without the other two. Their bond was legendary, forged in the crucible of power, strategy, and yes, scandal. So now, with their old friend Mandleson caught in the crossfire of the biggest political storm in years, a scandal with ties to the toxic legacy of Jeffrey Epstein, you'd expect his two closest allies to be front and center. You'd expect the media to be hammering on their doors. You'd expect Starmer to be asked, "Have you spoken to Tony Blair about this? What does Alastair Campbell think?" But nothing. It's as if they've been airbrushed from the picture. This is the same Tony Blair who led the country into the Iraq War on what many call a false premise, a decision that has shadowed his legacy ever since. This is a man who is still incredibly active, a major player on the European stage, constantly offering his opinions on global affairs. For him to be silent now is not just unusual, it's bizarre. And Campbell, who never shies away from a media scrap, is also conspicuously quiet on his old friend's plight. As the Mandleson saga unfolds, it's not just about one man's downfall. It's about the shadows that stretch long from the past. Who is protecting whom? Why are certain names being kept out of the headlines? It raises a fundamental question about where the real power lies. As the drama plays out in public, the real story might be happening behind closed doors, in the silence of old friends. It's a stark reminder that in the murky world of politics, the most important moves are often the ones you don't see.